Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So I'm Marlia from Politeknik Kuching, Sarawak, and the other author is Dr. Yusniza Kamaruzzaman, Dr. Tina Rajini Churmurthy from Faculty of Business and Accountancy, University of Malaya. So today we are glad to present our topic, which is nation branding, searching the brand identity of Malaysia. So nation branding is an essential concept in the world today. So as the nation branding is about the perceptions of the country, it's crucial to identify what is the nation branding identity from the perception of global tourists. Nation branding itself, known as global country branding, may position a country on the global market as an attractive destination for investment, knowledge, tourism, export, and technology emanating. Through National Transformation 2050, TN50, Malaysia is set to rise to become a leading nation in terms of economy, its citizen well-being, and ability to generate ideas. TN50 aims for Malaysia to be ranked among the top 20 under economic development, social progress, and innovation. So nation branding must be considered as an essential part of the national development strategy to create a better competitiveness in the next of country's development. One of the prominent cases in Malaysia is Malaysia long-running tourism campaign featuring the slogan of Malaysia Truly Asia, which often cited as a classical case of a successful country branding. So this Malaysia Truly Asia campaign is created in the year 2000. However, this successful long-term campaign somehow failed to align with other country branding exercise due to poor projection of the brand identity of Malaysia throughout the logos and design of each campaign. So, based on these two branding controversies, Visit Malaysia 2020 and KL branding logos, we can see that they receive a negative response for both Visit Malaysia and KL branding. So here is the samples of the comments from the Twitter. So it clearly shows that from this, Malaysia need to have a framework that can guide the industry players to moving forward to the expected directions. In particular, this study seeks to answer the following research questions, such as what is the perceptions towards the Visit Malaysia 2020 logos and KL branding logos, and also what is the brand identity of Malaysian nation brandings, as this paper aims to propose a framework linking the brand identity of Malaysia with its nation branding. Okay, now let's move to the literature review part. So this is a theoretical framework that adopted from the models of nation branding and identity and image from Dini's 2016, which we can see here the nation brandings as a core, and the components of nation branding is a brand essence and the brand identity. So for the theories and the concept, nation branding itself is the unique and multidimensional blend of elements that provide the nation with the cultural grounded differentiations and relevant for all its target audience, competitive identity, collective expression of its peoples. So this is from Dini's, Sussmans, and Unholt. And according to other also, the success of some nations or place in the business, trade, tourism, diplomacy, and cultures can make a critical difference on how the nations or place is perceived by others. Okay, for nation branding identity itself is a nation through self-essence characters driven by vision, which is both different from others. So for that is from Enholt, Van Rekom, Van Reel, and Balmus. So as for Dini's 2016, there are 10 components for brand identity, which is the language, politics, regime, architecture, literature, art, religion, education system, landscape, music, food that will represent the nation brand identity. And based according to the Blackstone 2000, the strong brand identity in essence will become an asset for countries. Okay, now let's move to the methodology part. So this is the qualitative studies, and these qualitative studies use the ethnographic data, which we also analyze the content analysis and also semantic analysis. So data was collected via the conversations and review from the social platform such as Facebook, Twitter, web community, Reddit, and TripAdvisor with a certain period of time. So a total of 1,132 online conversations, which consists of 648 reviews, which is 57.2% from Malaysia, and the rest 454 reviews, which is 42.8% from the abroad, such as from the Singapore, Indonesia, China, UK, US, Australia, New Zealand, India, and etc. Okay, next slide, we are going to discuss about results and findings. Okay, let's start with the objective 1, to explore the perception of new Visit Malaysia 2020 logos and KL branding logos. As the analysis result for the Visit Malaysia 2020 logos, it shows that 57% of the reviewers said that about the negative things, and 40% of the reviews has been coded as positive reviews. So the reviews show that the new Visit Malaysia 2020 logos has been viewed as an appealing logos compared to the previous one, which was quite a controversial issue due to its design and meaning. However, most of the reviewers prefer the original slogan Visit Malaysia Truly Asia compared to the new slogan Visit Truly Asia Malaysia 2020. So for the KL branding, 85% of reviews are negative about KL branding logos. So this may affect the image of Kuala Lumpur as one of the main cities in Malaysia. As for some tourists, the logo is not attractive and it does not represent the Kuala Lumpur image. Alright, next we are going to discuss about the objective 2. Okay, so let's look at the findings first. So the objective 2 is to examine the elements of brand identity of Malaysia. So this is the summary of brand identity elements of Malaysia. So there are 10 elements. Let's move to the first elements, which is the language. So there are 10 elements, which is a language, political regime, architectures, literature, art, education system, landscape, music, food, and also religion. So the first element is language. So finding from the studies, it shows that the Malaysian language represent the nation identity. So according to the literature by the Davis and Dubinsky 2018, a national language is language that is associated with the nation. So it's true that from the reviews they said that what make Malaysians is a person who speak Malay language. So some of the tourists also cited that this is the government duties to promote the Malay language as the international language. However, some of them argue that Malaysia needs a strong national culture to promote the language. The second element of brand identity is of political regimes. So according to the Quilt and George 2005, the top leaders of the country are associated with the nation brand and affected people impression either good, bad, or indifferent of that particular countries. So as from the reviews, the highest name mentioned is Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, as now is our ex-prime minister. So during the studies, I get the comment which is some of the participants said that at an age of 94, he is still going strong. Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad is someone, the grand old man of Malaysian politics. And however, from these studies, we find out that most of the most of the tourists give negative reviews about the Malaysian politics, either local or the local tourists or the international tourists. So it's not a good reviews, okay, because they say that Malaysia is next, is our lead, is still freaking with the politics, so they're not really have a good impression about the Malaysian politics. Okay, so let's move to the next elements, which is the architectures. So from the reviews, we found that the magnificent architectures of the national mosque, the old KL railway station, the Petronas Twin Tower, and the Sultan Abu Samad building is impressive for visitors. So there is a history behind of each building that makes the tourists enjoy visiting the architecture's buildings. So for the elements such as literatures, okay, another brand identity element such as literature, most of the reviewers said that Malaysia has excellent literatures and writers, including Munshi Abdullah, Tan Tuan Eng, and also K.S. Maniam. So for them, that these Malaysian writers and their literatures give the international public an insight into the stories of Malaysian people during the British colonial periods and post-colonial era. So this is good. It's the good reviews from the reviewers about the literatures in Malaysia. For music itself, the fifth element is in music. So from the review, the tourists believe that there are strong talents in Malaysian music industries. And the artists are outstanding and innovative, which can carry Malaysia international music. As Malaysian singer who made the Malaysian proud of, such as Yuna and Datuk Sri Siti Nurhaliza, has been commented also on to these reviews. They also suggested that the government responsibility to support the local music industry to be more creative and more to the international level. And the sixth element is the landscape. So according to the Denise 2016, the landscape reflects to the another important visual manifestations of the national identity. So the majority have expressed the landscape of Malaysia as stunning, spectacular in the reviews. Overall, the tourist spoke about the serenity of Langkawi beaches and the stunning architectures and landscape of the KLCCs from a view of the Sky Bridge. So they also spoke about the other attractions such as Kinabalu Park, Cameron Tea Estate, and the beautiful sceneries of Bako National Park. Seventh element is art. So art plays an important role in the creations of national identity. This is according to Denise. So each of nations have a unique expression of its own. So this cultural expression represent a crucial differentiator in terms of national brand management that decision makers need to integrate into national brand strategies growth. So based on the food itself, or the 8 elements, is in most travel experience, food and cuisine have always been an important part. So as we can see here, nasi lemak. So nasi lemak was touched upon by many reviewers as one of the local cuisine synonyms with the Malaysians. So they love meals, nasi lemak, and nasi lemak is among of 100 heritage meals in the world, according to PAI 2019. But other reviewers also reveal that they also love other Malaysian foods such as roti canai and fruit from the Penang hawkers. For education systems, so according to Hennert Diamond, and Roosevelt. So the internationalization of higher education was initially a country level, aiming to promote the mutual understanding between the countries to encourage the higher education institute collaboration with those different countries. So means that from these reviews, the majority of the visitors said that Malaysian education has a sound system that has been globally recognized. So as the top ranking university, Malaya was most regarded as one of the top ranked universities in Malaysia, and other universities such as UPM and UKM, and also the private universities in Malaysia such as Lim Kok Wing also get a good appreciation from them. And the last elements of the brand identity is religion. So the religion itself, since Islam is the official religion in Malaysia, Muslim has been able to build many mosques in Malaysia. So the building itself is commonly listed by the tourists in the Kuala Lumpur, such as the National Mosque. However, since Malaysia is a multiracial country, Malaysian also follows other religion. So the tourists also pointed out other religion places as a place to explore, such as Batu Cave Temple and Keklok Sea Temple in Penang. So they see that they are not religious sites, but also wonderful places to visit. Okay, next, the discussions and the conclusion. For discussions of Objective 1, so this study discovered more negative sentiments than the positive sentiment for both the new Visit Malaysia 2020 tourism logos and KL branding logos. So, as a conclusion, the government should consider the issues of logos as the importance to encourage positive reaction that will lead to the intention of the tourists to come and visit Malaysia. Okay, next is our discussion for Objective 2 regarding the elements of nation branding identity. So as the language is have role and impact of the Malaysia branding, so Malay language is the identity of Malaysia with the strong cultures. So Malaysia can promote the Malay language at many platforms such as movies, music, literature, and also through Visit Malaysia campaign platform. For politics, as a politic plays the vital roles in developing countries, so it's really important for Malaysia to really focusing on the worrying about the political stability that will impact to the tourists to come and visit Malaysia. Therefore, this is the right time for the government to focus on the political element to be more competitive in branding in Malaysia. For the architecture's part, the Malaysian architecture from the findings such as National Mosque, Petronas Twin Tower, and Sultan Abdul Samad building are frequently revealed in the review, and the tourists are really impressed with the beautiful architecture. So we can see here the beautiful architecture of Petronas Twin Tower is part of Malaysia identity. For literature, from the finding, we found that the good things about Malaysia, famous writer Masya K.S. Maniam and Tan Tuan Eng. So these writers was very committed to defining their cultural identity and present homeland. Therefore, Malaysia should promote Malaysian literature to the world as its part of element of Malaysia identity. So for music and arts, both are part of identity. So as Malaysia is countries rich in different cultures for different races and ethics, it's important to highlight those arts as they represent Malaysia identity. For landscape, words such as great, stunning, amazing, and incredible has been associated with most of the tourists. So tourists enjoy KLCC, Langkawi, and other places such as Kinabalu Park, Cameron Tea Estate, and Baku National Park to see the city scenery. One of the famous landscape in Malaysia is Langkawi. So therefore, this is an opportunity for the Malaysia to utilize the Langkawi as one of the destination for tourism. For food, nasi lemak is named as one of the top traditional dishes in the world by Taste Atlas. So Malaysian cuisine, nasi lemak, should be highlighted in the promotional videos or any Malaysia promotional campaign. For education itself, one of the areas that nation concentrate effort to leverage the national image as a strategy of nation branding in higher education. So Malaysia should take this opportunity to do more promotion for Malaysia university to international students, as Malaysia has a good ranking university in the world as University Malaya and other universities such as Lim Kok Wing and so on. So for the religion itself, as the last elements, so as Malaysia has many attractive sacred places, religious tourism should also be promoted in Visit Malaysia campaign to encourage more tourists to visit Malaysia. Okay, here is the proposed nation branding framework linking the brand identity of Malaysia nation branding. So this summarizes all the findings. So the proposed framework is expected to provide insight to tourism practitioners and stakeholders globally to improve countries' competitiveness, globally to improve their image. As this study highlights the findings of brand identity in Malaysia, it would help develop strategies in establishing nation branding with more visible brand identity. So this is ensure that more effective campaign of MTA to promote the future visit. Okay, as a conclusion, we found out that Malaysia has all the unique features to build up a strong nation brand. So the elements of brand identity of nation has been perceived very positively by the online communities, it's either local or international tourists. So elements such as architectures, landscape, art, food, and religion receive a huge positive reviews. However, the politics regime element is the only elements that receive a negative perceptions. Another competitive culture such as music, literature, language will counterbalance a negative perception of the tourists. Okay, what happened to Visit Malaysia 2020 campaign? So the Visit Malaysia 2020 campaign falls victim to the pandemic. So of course, it gave a high impact to the tourism industries. However, in Malaysia need to develop strategies for the nation branding years to come. Okay, last but not least, we hope that this study will contribute to the body of knowledge and the outcome will give a good indicator for years to come from a sustainable Malaysia Truly Asia campaign. So with that, thank you very much.